Hi everyone, welcome back to one of Mrs. M's mini math lessons. Today we will be looking at multiplying decimals. Today when we're multiplying decimals it's a little bit trickier. There's a couple of added extra steps that you will need to do to make sure that you don't make any errors, and we're going to go through that now. So firstly we're going to look at the attempt of the sum. There's two parts for the attempt. One is to write it in the correct format. So let's do that now. So 63.1 times 1.1. Now as you can see, you don't need to line up decimal points like you did for add and subtract because that won't actually alter the answer or help with answering the question. So this is part one of the attempt. Part two is to come up with the star number. Now the star number, and I like to write it over here, your star number is basically how many numbers there are after the decimal point in the question. So let's look at the two numbers in the question and we look at how many numbers are after the decimal point. Here there's one, and how many over here? Just one. So we've got one after the decimal point, one after the decimal point. So what's our star number? It's 2. That will come into play later, but to be able to attempt a question you need to show me these two bits of information. One is to set out the question correctly, and the other one is to tell me the star number. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're almost going to pretend like these decimal points aren't here, and we're just going to multiply just as usual. So let's do that now. So we've got 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 1 is 6. So I'm actually going to get rid of that one, and I'm going to go to the next number. So remember, this isn't just 1, it's a 10. So I'm going to put a 0 here to help. So now that we've got the 0 down, it's actually 1. So 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 6 is 6. And then we're done with that one as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add just like a regular multiplication sum. So 1 plus 0 is 1, 3 plus 1 is 4, 6 plus 3 is 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we've just got 6 here. Okay, so we're not done here. As you can see, this is a whole number. It's in the thousands, but as you can see here, we've got decimal points up here. So there is a decimal point in our answer, but where do we figure out where that goes? We can't just carry it down because it's not lined up that way. So this is where our star number comes in. So this tells me how many numbers we have to have after our decimal point. So it's 2, which means I go 1, 2, 2. So our final answer is actually 69.41. So this star number is important to be able to get the decimal point in the correct place. So there's a few places that you can gain marks here. 1 for the attempt, 1 for multiplying correctly, 1 for adding correctly, and lastly 1 for applying the star number correctly. So again, step 1, write it out in the correct format. 2, figure out what this star number is, which is how many numbers there are after the decimal point. Multiply just as usual, and then apply that star number. Just to go through this idea of the star number very quickly, if we had, for example, 32.14 times 1.65, the star number here would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Because there are 4 numbers in the question that are after the decimal point. If we had another example of 25.1 times 43, as you can see, there's only one of them there with a decimal point, so our star number is 1. So you have to look at both questions in the both numbers in the question and tell me how many numbers there are after the decimal point in both. Hope that helped in learning how to multiply decimals.